Welcome to episode 83 in our series on Duties of the Heart by Rabbi Bachya Ibn Pakuda, and it's still in chapter 3 up to the 25th example that Rabbi Bahya is giving out of 30 of self-accounting. And in this segment, Rabbi Bahya is going to deal with finding a balance in life. So Rabbi Bahya begins. A person should make an accounting with his soul as to how he has become immersed in love for this world and placed worldly desires ahead of love for the next world. He should endeavour to remove from his heart love for this world and replace it with love for the next world by contemplating the end result of both worlds and what his final condition will be in both abodes. He should try to banish love for this world from his heart and instill it steadfast love for the next world. One of the wise men has said, "As water and fire cannot abide together in one vessel, so love for this world and love for the next cannot dwell together in the heart of the believer." They, the wise, have also said, "This world and the next are like two rival wives. Mollify one and you antagonize the other." So too, my brother, both your soul and body require supervision and thought. To strengthen and promote the soul, one must train it in morals and fields of knowledge, guide it in the ways of wisdom, teach it the personal virtues, and restrain it from pursuing its low desires. To strengthen and promote the body, one must supply it regularly with different kinds of food, tasty food, and with drinks suitable to its constitution. Bathe in it lukewarm water and pay constant attention to its welfare and needs. So too, my brother, both your soul and body require supervision and thought. To strengthen and promote the soul, one must train it in morals and fields of knowledge, guide it in the ways of wisdom, teach it the personal virtues, and restrain it from pursuing its low desires. To strengthen and promote the body, one must supply it regularly with different types of good, tasty food, and with drinks suitable to its constitution. Bathe it in lukewarm water, and pay constant attention to its welfare and needs. So Rabbi Bahya is telling us that your body and soul have to live together, but you must understand that one is very opposite from the other. One's needs are very opposite from each other. So you have to look after both, and you have to find a balance between the both. And Rabbi Bahya is telling us that what you put into your body makes a difference to your soul. What your physical condition is like makes a difference to your soul. If you are perhaps very overweight and you don't want to do anything about it, you're going to feel sluggish at all times of the day. You won't want to, sometimes even it takes energy to sit and learn. You have to be of a fit body in order to have a clear mind. And also this reminds me of Rambam's Hilchot Dayot. I think it's chapter 4, where it gives a regimen of the suitable foods that he suggests to keep you healthy, how to bathe, and all different conditions of the body and how to look after them. So Rabbi Bahya continues, if you devote your mental energy to promoting your body and give it all your attention, you will have to neglect the promotion of your soul. If, on the other hand, you focus your mind on invigorating your soul and devote your attention to it, you will have to neglect many of your body's interests. So Rabbi Bahya is saying, if you want to work out all day, you want to look after your body, that's all good and well, but you won't have any time left over to sit and learn and gain wisdom in all aspects of life. So you have to find the balance. But nowadays we're in a very fortunate position. We can exercise whilst listening to shiurim. We can walk whilst listening to Torah lessons or various other lessons. So we're in a better position than in 1,000 years ago, but Rabbeinu Bahya is warning us not to overdo it, looking after your body, if it's going to detract from the needs of the soul. So Rabbeinu Bahya continues, prudence dictates that you give preeminence to your soul, which is your share in eternity, rather than to your body, which will pass away, and that you nurture your soul and care for it. But do not deprive your body of the things that are vital to it. Do not overtax it or weaken it, for this will weaken both body and soul. Rather, provide your body with enough sustenance to maintain it in good condition, and provide your soul with more than enough of the fields of knowledge and moral teachings. So Rabbeinu Bahya is saying you can fill yourself to full with moral lessons and knowledge, but when it comes to food, just give yourself enough to get by, which is very, very true. Rambam, in chapter 4 of Hidayah, he tells us it's better to eat 75% of what your body needs, and you'll be much better. Even if you eat good foods, he says, if you eat to fullness, if you eat till your stomach is full, it'll make you ill. And it's very true. I think of any type of food, if you eat less than your 75% of your stomach's capacity, it's much healthier for you. Even if you fill up on healthy foods, it's not so good for you. If you fill up more than you need to. And Rabbeinu Bahya continues, along these lines, the wise one said that King Solomon in Ecclesiastes, do not be over righteous and do not be too wise. Why become despondent? Do not be overly wicked, neither be a fool. Why die before your time? It is best that you hold on to the one and not let go of the other. That is, do not go to extremes in adopting the ways of the righteous, who withdraw from the world, lest you exceed their course and become utterly despondent. Neither should you go to extremes in the ways of the wicked, for whom this world is preeminent, adopting their desires to a degree that is inappropriate for your religious and physical life, lest you die before your time. This refers to the death of the soul, when it is overcome by low desire and drowned in a sea of physical delights. Rather, take the middle path and hold fast to your final home, but do not renounce your world here. For from this world you must take your provisions for the everlasting world. This world is the entryway to the place of peace, as our sages of blessed memory said, and he quotes from Ethics of Our Fathers, chapter 4, verse 16. This world is like an antechamber before the next world. Prepare yourself in the antechamber that you may enter the grand hall. This was the path followed by the early pious ones who feared God. So Rabbeinu Bahya is now reminding us of the balance you must have. In fact, this golden mean that is discussed by many rabbonim and philosophers. For example, Rambam in Hidayah chapter 2, I believe, he talks about finding this middle path. You should not be any extreme in anything, except for anger. We should try and keep away from the extreme, and you can go to the other side. Also, to be exceedingly humble. Humility, you can be extremely, like Moshe Rabbeinu was extremely humble. But in general, this golden mean is finding the middle path and finding your place in the center and not being extreme in any way, unless you have an extreme you are extreme in one way, then you go to the other way, according to Rambam, just to balance it out, and then once you've reached the middle again, you settle down in the middle. But you can go to extremes at times to correct faults that may be in your character. You go to the extremely other way to correct faults. And Rabbeinu Bahya continued. Also, another point is we must remember that we have been given our bodies by God. God designed our bodies to serve us. So you can't just say, I won't do any physical exercise because it's not it's not Toradic. It's very important that you look after what God gave you. For example, if you are told at the beginning of your life that, if you're told as a youngster when you pass your driving test, for the next 60 odd years while you're able to drive, you'll only have one car. This is the car that you will have. Surely you would take care of it every day. You wouldn't get it banged up. You wouldn't put the wrong fuel in, and you would take care of it. This is the same with your body. Your body is your one vehicle that you have for the whole of your life. Don't bang it up, and look after it. So this is the same thing, and it serves you. Rabbi Bahya continues, the wise one said, do not be too wise, and did not say, do not be too foolish, because for us there is a limit to wisdom beyond we cannot go. That is, we are permitted, even obligated, to pursue any kind of wisdom that draws us to God's service, leads us to fulfill His commandments, and demonstrates His wisdom and power. As it says, behold, the fear of God, that is wisdom. That's Job 28:28. The beginning of wisdom is fear of God, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. That's from Mishlei 9:10. Also Psalms 1:1:1. The beginning of wisdom is fear of God. And also from Yirmiyahu, for they have rejected the word of God. What good is wisdom to them? But we are forbidden to study and pursue any kind of wisdom that acts on us in a way other than just stated. He, King Solomon, therefore said, and do not be too wise. So, very important words here. There are certain subjects in life that perhaps escape the limits of our understanding. And if we try and pursue these avenues, that don't really lead us anywhere, because we never gain a full understanding, and you just end up frustrated in your life. Sometimes some of the mystical elements of Judaism, Kabbalah, and things like this are so complex and require such a degree of understanding that unless you're at that place, it can be almost destructive, because it'll just confuse you and push you away, because you feel disappointed in yourself that you don't understand the various things. And also, Rabbi Bahya is telling us that the most important thing is the fear of God. Ultimately, at the end of the day, when all's said and done, the most effective thing that you can do as a human being is follow Shimon HaSadik's Pirkei Avos Mishnah, where he concludes it by saying, I think it's chapter 1 verse 2, the world is the world's foundations are based on three things: Torah, service, and Gemilot Chasadim. So if you want whatever you're going to achieve in life, God has made it so simple for you. You just have to follow three things. You have to study Torah, you have to be a servant of God, and you have to perform acts of kindness to your fellow man and woman. This is very important. So it's very simple. You can study mystical texts as much as you want. You can go into subjects that are extremely deep. But at the end of the day, the only things that make an effect are those three things. So why don't you just concentrate on those? And through those, you'll gain a fear of God, and you'll gain God's love. So it's a win-win. And Rabbi Bachya concludes, with regard to folly and frivolity, however, he warns against them, whether they be in small or large doses. Hence he said, neither be a fool, and did not say too much of a fool, because even a small dose of foolishness spoils many virtues. As he said in Ecclesiastes 10:1, dead flies can spoil and ferment the perfumer's ointment, and a little folly outweighs wisdom and honour. So we all know that you can live a life of piety, but one mishap, one act of stupidity is what people remember, and they remind each other of when discussing a pious person, or rather his mistakes. They want to highlight those as opposed to their piousness. So wonderful section there, number 25, and I look forward to discussing number 26 next episode.